What is up, guys, and welcome to the next episode in the saga of the E36 bound for Europe for Driftmasters. She's running, we're picking up where we left off in the last video, about to pull it inside, hop on the dyno, and see what kind of numbers we can put out of this thing, but man, it is so cool seeing this thing on the ground. It's been a long time coming, but it's cool. I can't wait to drive this thing. All right, before we get on the dyno, I want to give a formal welcome back to none other than Freddie. How's it going? It's been cool watching Freddie on the sidelines. He's progressed his tuning a ton. This car is very important to me to have the absolute highest level of everything possible. But I do want to address the elephant in the room. It's been a while. We kind of had a falling out, and rather than just like ignoring it completely, I thought we'd give you a little bit of a backstory. So what happened?
Oh man, life happened. I was starting my tuning career at one point, and I met Adam, we became friends. I wanted to join his team full time, but honestly though, like the stress was pretty huge to take on. I moved my entire life. I ended up living with Adam for about 4 months in his guest bedroom, and then I moved to the compound and the house here, and it was just a lot to take on. It just like really wasn't for me, but I had a fun time with everyone, the guys. We always look back and we like laugh about all the good times we had.
Yeah, I think on both sides, like communication probably could have been better. And again, I feel like this is probably, it's hard to do in real life to squash beef, right? It's even harder to do it on YouTube. And we're doing it to to hold the camera and talk about a situation like this is not an easy thing. But I think it's important just for you guys, obviously, like in life, shit happens and you could either get over it and make amends, or you could not, and we did the latter. So I'm stoked to have you back. I always say an ECU is only as good as your tuner, and you've definitely leveled up even more than you already were before. So I'm very excited for you to put your hands on the new E36.
Yeah. And this is super awkward to do on camera, right? Like in person, we're hanging out, we're friends, we're hanging out, we can crack jokes, no problem.
We squashed this a while ago, and like even yesterday it was awkward filming you just because I'm like, man, I don't want the comment people to attack or make assumptions or whatever. So we put it out there. The elephant in the room is dead.
It's been over a year since we started kind of hanging out and talking. Adam has helped me indirectly with my clients and or friends, and I have indirectly helped Adam with some of his builds by helping Johan or Sean with details about stuff.
We've been like silent supporters.
Yeah, we've just been kind of hanging out, and then one day we're just like, hey, what's up? And then we figured it out from there. But yeah, this is awkward. On camera, everything's fine. Don't mind me.
I mean, to be fair, you are always a little awkward.
I'm always a little awkward, man.
But if you can help my audience learn more about tuning and teach me more too, we'll deal with the awkwardness.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. Uh-oh. First pull, and now you guys are in the machinery room. Can't take the builder out, the engine builder.
Gotta do something, you know?
One of the other big changes for this year is that this car is running all Link electronics, ECU, sensors, dash, keypad. You guys know that I've been familiarizing myself on the other cars, other builds, trying to understand the software more, getting to know and be familiar so that I could take a car like this across the seas and go compete and feel 100% confident in what we got. So I would say for the most part, this car has all your average sensors that you would see in any build, but some of the things that are different on a car of this caliber, you might see we have individual EGT probes, and what that does is it measures the temperature at each exhaust runner and allows you to trim the fueling per cylinder to ensure that all the cylinders are within spec. You can make sure that they are correct temperatures, and in that you can also prevent damage if you have an issue with an injector. It lets you kind of identify the problem before it becomes a problem. Also, another useful tuning tool, you see we have a bung in the collector. This goes through a little diffusion thingy-mabobber, and then this tells you what the back pressure is, which helps you. Freddie, explain back pressure really quick. 30-second explanation.
you would like your back pressure to be the same as your inlet manifold pressure. Keep the engine as efficient as possible. If your back pressure goes higher than your intake manifold pressure, the engine is essentially a smaller engine. It thinks it's smaller, it flows less, temperatures go up, detonation goes up. It's not happy. It actually gets quieter the higher the back pressure goes up.
Really, really useful tool, especially when you're choosing which AR you want to run for a turbo. We already know, because we've done this before with a very similar engine, that we're running a 121 Garrett housing. However, it's still useful with tuning. There are differences with heads and differences with exhaust, where you can spot stuff a little bit sooner and you can decide where you want to leave boost at, where, like he said, the back pressure is happiest. Now you can go past that, but it's a law of diminishing returns, and then that's where you would call it the danger to manifold tune.
Yeah.
Maybe no danger to manifold, but
No, we got the burst plate, so we're good.
if you have too much back pressure, what's usually the weak point? Is it the head gasket? Is it the head?
Head gasket or pistons?
Got it. All right. Well, oh, another belt. That's been the issue so far. What's going on with the belt, Johan?
We don't have a water pump, so we cannot run the same system as the other E36 when it comes to that pulley that a Drift HQ sells. So I added an idler down here and rerouted the belt in a way where we could use that water pump delete and do all the tensioning at the water pump delete. So we adjust the tension with that alternator. But unfortunately, we are running into an issue with the belt. It's flying off, back to the same blue 36 problems. We wanted to keep things just like the other car, where we worked out all the kinks with the belt and all the issues. These are coming back, so now we're trying to figure out what can we do to misalign it before we start pretty much talking about switching to maybe an electric pump or relocating the alternator to the opposite side. But then that means that we got relocate the oil filter, and as you probably saw, this side of the engine is getting pretty busy.
We're gonna use this shrimp.
So we're gonna test and finish tuning the engine with just the alternator, given that the alternator has the adjustment. We're deleting everything else, tune the engine, let Magic Freddy do his thing, and then figure out the belt stuff for the power steering down the road.
Hey Johan, guess what time it is?
I don't know what time it is. Dinner time?
Comida.
Oh, chicken masala.
Tikka masala. Sean's favorite.
Holy God.
We've got a wide variety of tastes when it comes to Indian food, and all of them are chicken tikka masala. Hell yeah. But your first chicken tikka masala, Armando.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You gotta tell Sean he's missing out.
Got it.
Compared to the other 3.4, it's coming in a little bit later and softer. So the guys are gonna go ahead and try to retard the exhaust cam a little bit to move that power band sooner. It'll be cool to see kind of what difference that makes. One interesting difference between the E36 that had the 3.4, the blue car, and this one, the plenum on this one, we went to a forward-facing plasma man, and you can see there's a little trade-off here. I've heard of it before, but I didn't realize it would actually be that big of a difference. It holds much better up top, the airflow is good, but there's a little bit of a sacrifice in the mid-range. So the old engine made a bit more power sooner and rolled off harder up top. With a new one, power comes in a little bit later, but it holds better up top. There may be some other variables, but I think the plenum difference is probably the most responsible thing. And it's interesting to see because I've heard it, but I've never seen it actually hand in hand because we've never wanted to delete the brake booster and put a forward-facing plenum on the other car. So I do want to add a little bit of a correction. We were doing pulls without an alternator on it just because we were having some belt issues. With the alternator back on, it did pick up a bit in the mid-range. So instead of seeing that large of a difference, still like a 50, 60 wheel difference between intake manifolds, but it's a direct trade-off for up top. We're able to rev it a little bit higher without it really rolling over at all. So this is probably a more accurate comparison than that graph I showed you before of stock intake manifold versus forward-facing plasma man and the trade-off of a little bit of mid-range for a little bit of up top. All right, it is officially the last day, and it's gonna be a long one. I don't know if this is gonna get broken up into 2 videos or 1, but essentially the first thing that we gotta really focus on is getting this car testing. We had a successful night on the dyno, a couple issues with the belt slipping off, but our buddy Mike was able to actually make this on our lathe to keep the belt in place. So today, there's a lot of like little fit and finish buttoning up. I'm a little bit bummed due to timeline and everything. I wanted to get the car revealed yesterday, but the fitment was way off, the ride height was way off, so we're gonna get that dialed in before we test. That way, hopefully we can leave it low and looking cool and also driving well. Other than that, I mean, you guys will see. There's a lot. My favorite thing though, Johann's beautiful, vibrant titanium downpipe. Now that it's got a little bit of color in it. Make sure you appreciate it now, because once it gets past a certain temperature, titanium actually goes the other way, and then you lose the beautiful color. So when it gets really hot, what does it turn, like the goldish hue?
Yeah, it starts turning like gold. It's just like, doesn't look that good.
Yeah. So you can appreciate it for now. I'm excited to see how it's gonna feel. It will probably be the lightest, I don't want to say the lightest drift car, but one of the lightest drift cars I've ever driven. Because that 86 I drove, I think was pretty light. I've driven some other light stuff, but power to weight, this will probably be the craziest car I've ever driven. As with any drift car, how you set up the rear suspension is very important. In this case, we are running a BC Racing 2-way separate spring and shock setup. Kind of a commonly debated topic. The main reason why we go with the separate spring and shock, it's easier to change springs if you need to make a change, and I'll show you just what I mean by how easy it is. You don't even need a jack really. You can just get away with going like so. Drop that down. Boom, spring out, ready for a change. The other cool thing, because the spring is farther in the chassis, other than like if it were out here, you actually get, I think it's about a 2-to-1 ratio, so you wind up with more spring resolution. And what I mean by that is an 8K spring will really feel more like a 4K, so when you go down to, let's say, like a 7, now you're doing half steps, and you're going down to like a 3.5K spring. So rather than making big jumps, you can make a lot smaller jumps to kind of dial everything in. But the really important thing, kind of how I was explaining with the Safari car, is setting your bump stops. So what you'll essentially do, you'll put a jack underneath this, and you'll bring this all the way up until you have a comfortable amount of gap between the spring bucket and the chassis, and you'll set the bump stop so you hit the bump stop and fully compress that before this makes contact with the chassis. In the case of springs, using a barrel spring like this from BC allows you to have less chance of spring bind just because of kind of how the coil stacks. But yeah, a little nerd out on the suspension on the rear of the E36. I'm actually putting shorter springs in it right now just to get the ride height a little bit lower. Cutting a little bit of bumper stuff and trying to get this thing looking good before I go test it. As a baseline, this car is starting with very similar alignment specs to the other car. Only difference is we have a little bit more rear weight bias than we have in the other car. It still is technically heavier in the front than the back. For Driftmasters, that's actually a really good thing because a lot of those guys struggle with front grip due to the tracks and some of the other limitations. Front's going to be corner balanced, put the rest of the body panels on, and then we should be good to go out there and test. Chelsea's here teaching me how to work on my car.
That's right. I got him wrenching. I'm fine-tuning my binoculars right now. That's good.
This, the FDF, what are these called? I always forget what they're called. It's literally the best invention in the world. Lollipops, you usually have to like unbolt from the chassis, like spin them, double lock it down. Nightmare. But this is smooth ball, nope, smooth
brain.
Smooth brain. It's killing me that I don't remember, but it's something that comes with all their kits now, and it's literally the easiest thing in the world to adjust.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, how are we looking? More or less?
That's probably good.
All right. Caster on these cars is really, really important. That's what's going to make it feel good. And we're both choosing to start with more caster versus less.
It's really the wheelbase you're adjusting right now more than the caster, but it does affect it.
Technically, we're adding caster, right?
Yeah.
Damn, look at that exhaust.
Phew. Titanium.
Is that what they calling it?
Titanium?
Titanium.
Titanium and aluminium.
Mike, you gotta get a shot of my beautiful new headlights that James has been working on.
Oh yeah,
They're pretty
dude,
sick.
they're so cool.
Big headlight builder. There's a debate because we have Mr. BMW.
You got clears on over here
Mr.
now?
BMW Purist
clears
himself
all
is here.
day.
Really?
So,
The clears look so much better.
Even with the headlights being darker?
Dude. The
just to get an
clears
idea.
Do you think I should change the headlight or leave the headlight?
No, the clears are in it.
The clears are definitely it.
Yeah, now that I see it next to each other.
I think you need to brighten this up, dude.
Well, you see, that's
I know, a
a
picture
stock
of,
photo,
I understand.
so I need to go turn the brightness up.
Hey, should we
you should
wrap
have
a
the headlight on for the photo, too.
Chelsea, should we put a headlight where the duct is?
Put a what?
Should we put a headlight where the duct is?
You do whatever you please, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna tell him to put a headlight in, and then his IATs are gonna be too hot, and then it's Denofa's problem.
No, I meant a headlight sticker.
Oh, like cut a sticker around that.
Oh, into the duct?
Yeah.
Warp drive. I don't think that James would be happy if you told him to wrap that.
I've said it a couple times now. I think that there needs to be like eyes, but like cross-eyed.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I think the headlight needs to be on,
Yeah.
too. That way it takes away in photos to it. Oh, there's no way it's real. Look at it, how bright it is.
Right.
What if we cut a little slit right in the middle, like you said, Mike, and there's a little laser coming out at it?
Yeah.
Frickin' laser beam.
Driftmasters has all the fireworks and
Right.
all that shit.
It looked cool in the tire smoke.
They do.
See
Well,
some-
I like how there's a little orange in the clear.
Yeah, the amber shows. Dude. You could just do amber ones.
I thought about that. I thought about that.
I like how the headlight that you used is like a properly worn E36 headlight. It's not like a brand new one.
Got like a little scuffs here.
It's like, Adam, you built a brand new car, you couldn't afford for new headlights. They're all yellow faded.
Yeah, so we spent about half the day doing headlights. The car's been ready to test. No, I didn't.
Just been waiting on headlights.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this. Chelsea's here today. He's going to help with some initial setup, testing. I'm going to make him drive the car and make sure everything feels kosher. We have very, very limited time with the car. It needs to be loaded.
Me to drive it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather you break it than me. Then I can just blame you. The car needs to leave here at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and daylight is crunching, so every lap needs to really count. So
Even let me drive it.
Yeah. But even something as simple as like the sway bar. Chelsea noticed we have an M3 sway bar, not a 328 one. It's a little bit softer. We're not going to be able to do the things we need to do with it, so we're swapping that out, getting a stiffer one on. You pretty much live, eat, and breathe these cars, so.
Not so much anymore, but I have done that with these cars. Yeah, you use too small of a bar for how much wheel spacer you got in the back.
I didn't show them yet. Did I?
What, the wheel spacer?
Yeah.
I think I got a clip or two of them going on.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's some spicy spacers.
People are gonna be like, why don't you buy the right spec wheels?
It'd be
Because,
negative 40.
well, they just don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, first off, SLs are discontinued. Second off, that is the most aggressive offset I could get in a 9.5. And it's
No
22.
worries. Just have a slew of discontinued TEs to drift on.
Yeah, but they're, yeah.
Yeah.
First thing I'm gonna do is test the brakes just to make sure we don't crash into anything. The brakes have a really large dead spot, so I think we need to bleed it more. I can drive it, probably because of that. Yeah, I think that's on. dark, so we gotta make this worth it. But all the setup, everything right off rip feels like
Square.
yeah.
It looked like it was good. Everything under, over, like. Loud. Just how it bounces around.
What do you think?
Gearing looks a little long for that first ship in. He'll probably need to go more track right so he has a little bit more time to light off. Going across the track at least.
Everything's good. The biggest thing right now is like when I went to enter, I couldn't even do anything with the brakes because I'm full straight leg before it does anything. It'll be fine. We can check the bias really quick. I'm gonna drive, but that's the only thing so far. Felt great, but I think it chucked the belt. Oh. Yeah.
He didn't even give it a second because he had already reached the normal speed that he got there. Like, cause you do it by speed if you have a million laps at your place. But it lit off, got to speed, and then he was too short on everything else because it's so fast.
I mean, it felt good. It definitely, it feels like it lacks a little bit of mid-range compared to the other motor. Yeah. The chassis feels amazing though.
Yeah, I think your gearing can stick longer than what you're trying to do right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also,
just go more track right when you enter.
I mean, it's a brand new car. Give me a break, Dad.
No, I'm just saying. It'll just give you more room, safer that way.
No, I mean, it feels like everything feels extremely intuitive. It felt fast. Power felt good.
Quick.
Everything happens quick.
That's good.
But it just, as soon as I got into the drop, I lost power steering.
Oh, the belt.
It is
the crimp on the line, on the high pressure line. Yeah.
Oh, that's why there's smoke.
We need to go more on the crimp.
Yeah. We follow the measurements, and it measures out to what they call it for the specking, like the
You
tolerance.
just gotta fix the line.
Yeah.
We should probably do the other one.
So we think this crimp is not crimp enough. Well, according to this, you follow here, you got dash 6, 8 through 20, different type of line. And then when you follow the crimp process, there's a minimum and maximum sizing for the crimp once it's crimped. Based on what we have per the calibration or the tolerances, it checks out. But I questioned this from the beginning because it didn't seem like it was crimp enough comparing to other lines that I've seen. Now, there's many different line manufacturers, but it can be that many because they'll use the same type of collar and slash fitting. So we'll see now when we do it again. We're gonna see if we either calibrate this or just set it at a tighter crimp to get the desired crimp.
Look, Lawrence, you're in an Adam LZ video now.
We're just bleeding the brakes. It ran out of brake fluid.
That's not YouTube friendly.
Oh my god, this clutch. Holy shnikes. Is this how all your cars are?
What about it?
How hard it is to push this clutch?
I don't feel like it is. You skip leg day, bro?
No, I drive cars all the time. This is so stiff.
Really?
Yes, really.
I mean, I guess we got different versions of stiff.
This is way stiffer than the Mustang clutch.
Is it?
Is it? Are you British now?
About that issue you're having with your yard. I'm looking into it. I had someone drive by. The marks weren't that large, so I understand where your concern's coming from. But at the same time, I don't know that it's worth dropping everything to handle right now. I've got one more specialist I'm going to call to see what they can do. I just need you to send me a little bit more information so if you can either drop it off in the mailbox or shoot me a text.
This is good.
And remind Bob too, he needs to run by the laundromat and pick up exactly where he's ready.
I'm like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Sounds pretty serious.
Yeah,
Okay, when I'm listening to that, I'm thinking, is he actually meaning to get call someone else about this?
No.
Like,
So
what's he talking
I was
about?
like, at first I was like, he thinks he's talking to somebody else. And then I'm like, no, it's so up that he's with me. And then you're like, Adam has this weird, it's not a dry humor, it's an unexplained humor. That he doesn't even know what he's saying.
I just like,
It's the most
he just keeps
confusing
going
shit.
with it like he's talking to himself.
my humor is derived from, I think in my head, like something that a stupid person would think. I'll be like, they would probably believe this. And then I go, I'm gonna say that and see if someone believes it. And if they don't, they're gonna think I'm stupid and that's gonna be funny.
His issue is he thinks of that stuff and goes with it, and
And
then
keeps
while
going.
he's doing it, he's like, "How deep can I go?"
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this?
that's what I'm saying.
It's not like I think of a 10-second thing. It's like while you're doing that 10 seconds, it's like, "Oh, I can get this better."
But like also, oh yeah, at the end, tell Bob to go to the laundromat and pick up his clothes. Like you're like, Adam, what are you talking about? You're hurting my brain right
I
now.
wish I could have seen Chelsea's reaction to that.
Well, because she's listening, like, what's going on? And I'm also now like kind of feeding it
Invested.
because it's funny to see what she says. Because I've already listened to it twice now, and I realize, oh, this is a joke, you know. And she's like, what an asshole. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, your yard is really bad, but I don't have enough time to deal with that right now. But that's what you're emailing me or leaving a voice message about, telling me you.
And I
It is a problem, but you.
Well, I also completely forgot that I left that message. Then you saw me and you're like, yo,
Days
and
later.
you were like, you for leaving those marks in my yard. And I was like, what are
and
you
he's like,
talking about?
Like, did you get by the laundromat yet? And you're like, what? I'm like, the voicemail. He's like, he's already forgotten it.
Well, yeah, that whole concept started because my dad has like different secretaries all the time. And I call and I just with them because they don't know me, they don't know my name. So I call and they'll be like, I'll be like, hey, is Joel there? Who's my dad? And then they're like, no, he's out right now. Like, all right, well, tell him his dog's in my lawn and he better go get it right now. Like, I'm sick of this. His dog's eating my wife's planters. And then hold on one second. And then my dad comes on, hello, who's this? And they're like, hey, Dad.
So good.
It's my favorite. Power steering lines are fixed now. We also did a gear change. The gearing was a little bit long, so I think that's gonna help the car a lot. You should be able to hear a difference on video. We got the Safari GTR on the side-by-side lighting up the property. Really crazy. I'm excited though, vibe's good. We just had a bunch of pizza. Car felt so intuitive right up rip. I'm just hoping I can really, push the limits of the motor so I can see if there are any weak points.
release the brakes, the reaction time of getting my foot onto the brake pedal and then pushing it far down enough is just a little bit too late. So for like left foot braking, for making adjustments, it's almost as if it's not there. The power is good though, like especially once I'm up in the RPM band, it's like
sounds good.
It's spicy.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good motor.
What do you think about the car?
I can take more grip.
You want more grip?
Let's do it.
Instant or long term?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Power steering got heavy and then it came back.
You got heavy and it came back?
Good?
It's not leaking, so that's good.
Car feels really good. I don't have the confidence right now to stay flat through transitions, and that's part of the reason why I'm handbraking. And a lot of that comes from side bite. We don't have a lot of side bites set in the shock right now. Chelsea's going to make a change that should help with that tremendously. And then I'm going to go back out. My goal is to be able to drive this car foot to the floor through every transition. That usually is faster than like pedaling and having to do weird stuff, and there's less chance of the car hooking up and straining or doing weird stuff. But instantly for a brand new car, I feel so wildly comfortable. Everything happens so fast, it's like the craziest thing ever. Power steering gets rock hard after a run. That helps, but I can definitely take more.
God. Wow. Look at that FDF go. Baby. That thing is
An artsy B-roll of the smoke, Davis.
Yeah. Oh. Why not snipe me like that, bro? Don't be looking at my B-roll, dude. I got the shot. I don't know about your shot, but my shot.
I'm getting some inspiration.
No,
look
yo,
at
look at that.
The slow motion smoke. I want to see.
Hold up, take
I wanna
notes,
see what
all
you
right? Oh, wait. Don't take notes on that. Yo, look at this. You coming back? That right there. Money.
Yeah, you got me beat.
Money. Yo, why is your camera so much more clear than mine? That's not cool.
Wait. No, go backward. You gotta get the best part. It's at the end. Double cheeked up!
So there's easy ways to add some side. I don't want to go that much more in the back because you have the spring is really probably just too soft.
Yeah.
For in the rear because we're locking it down so hard with the shock right now.
I don't think I've ever had a new build that's so easy to drive.
It's good.
Like I feel like I could roll up to a competition right now and it would like
This is also like
not far
version
off.
4.0 of this chassis, and you've only made improvements, so it's gonna be better.
And to be fair, this is my favorite engine setup and my favorite chassis and my favorite gearbox. It's got all the good stuff.
And you spent all the time to make it what you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
How's the steering feel like in general?
Steering feels really good. I feel like it could maybe use a little bit more caster just for like return. Right now I'm really wheeling it, but it's second nature, maybe because I'm used to it from other cars, so it's not a prohibitive thing for driving right now, but I know that it could probably be a little bit better. IATs is one issue that we're fighting right now. The PWR intercooler is gangster, but the problem is usually you would have a radiator that's pulling some air, so you have some airflow, and I don't have any of that. So we might end up sticking some fans on it. It cools down instantly once I drive.
It goes down while you're drifting.
Yeah.
So it's doing its job. For sure. It's just static sitting, like you need a fan or something.
It's really good. I just can't believe how easy it is to drive. That's the big thing for me.
It's square, it's tight, it's everything, and we're making the tire do the work.
The only negative news so far is that we may need to pull out some rear wheel spacer to get a little bit side back. And
well, I'm adding more right now without that.
Okay, cool. Because having good fitment is really important to me. The Driftmasters cars look really cool, so I can't be rocking up with my little monster truck looking like he skipped leg day.
But if you win,
I mean, he's the champ. You heard it here.
I mean, if you win, what does it matter?
Yeah, true. Who cares if I skip leg day?
I always just say, like, when you park your car or you do whatever, you can put spacers on and make it look sick.
True.
When you're out there whooping everybody's that's way cooler looking than losing.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put like two 15s on the rear with like a plus 48 offset, and I'm gonna put a little sticker on the rear bumper where like the drone cameras go in the beginning of Driftmasters and say, Chelsea Denofa made me do it. And it's gonna have like a little photo of like a big dude with tiny little legs.
Skipped legs there.
Yeah. It'll be like a disc. Even if you make fun of yourself, it's okay.
Yeah.
So when I take the stickers off, I'll put like a magnet on the back that says, "Yes, I skipped leg day," so no one else can say it. It's what's important. It's what matters. Doing the most important job of the whole shop here. Putting stickers on my wheels. I think we're gonna do a separate video, or I'm gonna do a separate video, I should say, because it's gonna be extremely late by the time we have everything laid out for the container. But a couple people want to know like all that we're bringing, spares and all that. It's a lot, and we can probably do like a quick walkthrough once we get everything loaded. But yeah, wheels are a big part of it. So I'm getting all these dressed up, and then we're gonna see if we can find some boxes to throw these things in. That way they're safe in the container. That good? It's pretty late. It's 12:30. This happens probably once a year, and our neighbors are usually pretty understanding. One of them's into race cars himself, and he gets the rush when we got an event coming up. I feel guilty. We got 4 more tires to burn, made a bunch of setup changes. The car's got a little bit different Ackerman, a little bit more side bite now, so I should be able to stay flat foot through some of the corners. A little bit bigger tire in the rear. See what happens.
You got a whole crowd watching you.
This is when you spin.
I only did this once a year. Was on the dyno at 2 a.m. last night.
What? That's different than driving.
Oh, is it? You're right. It's more pulls.
I've never in my life had to have a car ready to get shipped where we have a hard deadline, so I feel okay about this one. Fair disclaimer: like 2 nights ago, 1 a.m., semi-automatic rifles going off. Yeah. So.
I was awake.
Sorry. Fully automatic.
Guns going off at 1:30 in the morning. Jordan just going by at 1 in the morning to piss everybody
all
off.
day, dude.
He's like, "Oh, Adam moved back onto the compound." Ba 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 ba.
car, so we're just adjusting the bump stops a little bit because sometimes things flex and you can't see on ground until you start drifting. I don't have power steering. Huh? I have power steering for my car. When you rev it, does it?
Bump stop. You heard that? Bump stop sign.
What's a bump stop?
I don't know. Something that stops bumps.
At max, man.
I'm starting to lose it. Booth is starting to lose it. You hear that? Sounds like
Why
a.
you hear Booth yelling like that?
That's the monkey. That was the monkey.
While we were all finishing up the car, Duarte actually took lead on getting everything palletized and getting the trailer packed up with the rest of the crew. Saved us a bunch of time and got us all situated for success.
Crazy. Bro, look at these lines on the ground. Holy crap. This thing puts down.
That's tire streets for you.
Power steering still feels great. No issues. Yeah, the biggest issue is it's like 15 degrees less angle than the first setup. I'm gonna still drive around it just to put more heat in it. Okay. It feels good. It doesn't.
So picturesque. I think that's the word, right?
Bro, it's like a scary movie, you know, like the Fog movie.
Silent Hill. Silent Hill at the compound.
Okay. No, listen. Drop to the ground so it starts dragging me by my feet. Mike,
Mike's
cut
gonna
that.
hate this bro. Mike's gonna go through all this and be like, what the f? They all lost their minds.
I know.
Welcome to the show, Mike.
Are these like sappy, sticky trees, or like can you like kind of?
These are really pointy, getting your skin and never fall out.
Really?
Things.
I was thinking like I could hug it and like
no,
pump
bro.
up it.
We're running on fumes over here. The car is fast. It's really fast. We accomplished a lot of things. I'm gonna put the Aquaman back where I had it before. We're a little bit more angle limited, and it's a little bit harder to drive the car at Big Lock, but it's so fast. It's crazy. And I figured out that I can run a bigger tire than I thought I'd be able to. It's good. It's really good. I think I'm gonna probably end up closing the video tomorrow. just because I'll be a little bit less brain dead. You guys won't see the car anymore though, so enjoy your last look at it for now.
All right, it's a new day and I finally feel like my brain is in the position where I can form a coherent sentence. The boys brought the car to the port at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. It's out of our hands now and it's off to Europe. I'm really happy with the car on many fronts. It's special, it's good. I think what I'm even happier about, what I'm really proud of, and what I'm so stoked about, the vibes from last night, or I should say this morning, absolutely unmatched. The whole racing thing produces a lot of nights like that, a lot of moments, and honestly those are some of the memories that I'll remember forever. The vibes, everyone just going to town on the car, seeing the smoke settle, the noises, like it is definitely a memory of a lifetime, and I cannot thank everyone enough. There's so many countless hours that had to be put in that last stretch with the car. Obviously we wanted to be a little bit more ahead of schedule, situations out of our control put us in a bind where we had to do what we had to do. The LZMFG team, the Drift HQ team, Freddie, Engine Mike, Jay-Z Raps, Armando, literally every single person that stepped foot on the compound played some sort of role in helping get that car to where it was, and they did it with a smile on their face. Like it is the coolest thing seeing the team come together and make magic happen like they did. A lot of time, that last minute SEMA crunch, that last minute crunch before Formula Drift, it's some of the worst and some of the most stressful times, but let me tell you, if that's gonna be the worst moment of the season, we're off to an amazing start, because it was special. It was a good time, and I'm stoked to share it with you guys, as well as many more of the moments that are here to come. I guess I am still a little incoherent with my brain. Slept on the couch, I woke up at like 2. The team, the homies, of course, all my amazing partners, none of this would be possible without them, and I'm really stoked for what this year holds. Still got some more exciting news. We got a weekend with quite a bit more work ahead of us. We're through the thick of it. We're coming out swinging. I'll see you guys soon.
When you said, when you said, when you said, wow, you said, go. When you said, when you said, nobody knows you like I do. There is a real life inside of you, inside of me. I have a secret to tell you, and you're not listening, but that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Golden brown, look so dark.